By the year 2026, the era of using artificial intelligence as a passive conversational sparring partner was definitively over. For 3 years, we operated in the chatbot phase. You typed a prompt into a browser window, and you received text back. Claude Cowork functions as an execution layer, performing tasks directly on your local machine. Instead of copying and pasting text from a web browser, the AI reads your local data, processes it, and outputs fully formatted deliverables, like a 10-page PDF or a working Excel file, straight to your hard drive. We have moved from prompting an advisor to delegating work to a digital coworker. To do this, Cowork uses an Agentic loop. An Agentic loop is a process where the AI receives a high-level goal, creates a step-by-step plan, executes the work, and verifies its own progress continuously without requiring you to guide every single step. But this continuous looping process consumes computational tokens at a massive scale, exponentially faster than a standard back-and-forth chat session. This chart shows Anthropic's pricing tiers as of early 2026. Because agentic work is so compute-intensive, the pricing structure stretches from a free tier all the way up to $200 per month. Choosing the wrong tier here has immediate consequences. You either burn money on capacity you never use, or you hit restrictive usage limits that lock you out of the system right in the middle of a project. Navigating this landscape requires a calculation of your personal compute return on investment. Using Cowork starts with a specific permission grant. You point the Claude desktop app at a local folder on your computer and allow it to read and write files within that directory. To keep your system secure, Claude operates inside a sandboxed virtual machine. A virtual machine is an isolated software environment that runs its own operating system, ensuring the AI cannot access sensitive files outside the approved folder. This chart plots demand against autonomy to map strengths. In the top right are tasks like document synthesis. The agent can sort 500 downloads, detect duplicates by checking code, and generate a polished summary of the remaining files. Notice this data point dropping into the low autonomy quadrant. When Cowork tries to parse complex Excel files with merged cells, its scripts break. We see the same drop with web automation. Asking Cowork to navigate Chrome is slow because the agent relies on constant screenshots and analysis. However, because this processing happens locally, your computer must stay awake and the Claude application must remain open for the entire duration of the task. If your laptop goes to sleep, the agent stops working. Cowork is effective for manipulating raw local documents, but it becomes brittle and inefficient when forced to navigate the web or decode stylized spreadsheets. To actually utilize this local document processing, the $20 a month Pro tier is the baseline entry point. This tier provides access to the flagship Opus 4.6 model and the full suite of Cowork agent capabilities. In practical terms, this supports 2 to 3 hours of continuous document synthesis and email drafting every single day. Upgrading to Pro removes the peak hour system lockouts that throttle non-paying users, effectively providing 10 to 15 times more operational runway than the free plan. This chart compares the cost of running that exact workload. Executing those tasks through a pay-per-use API would cost roughly $400 a month. The $20 subscription is a subsidized bulk compute purchase. The Pro tier will break if you push it too far. If you attempt an 8 to 10-hour marathon of continuous code refactoring, you will hit the ceiling and trigger a system lockout. Assuming you stay within those 2 to 3 hours of heavy daily use, the Pro plan functions as a utility bill that automates hours of manual digital labor every week. If you frequently hit those lockouts, you face the Max 5X tier, which requires a steep $80 monthly premium to upgrade from Pro. This tier grants 25 times the capacity of the free plan and provides zero latency priority access, meaning you never wait in line during peak global server loads. The use case here is specific. It exists for users who need to process entire software codebases or analyze over 150 dense PDFs in a single workday without stopping. Anthropic also offers a $200 Max 20X tier. But for an individual professional, this level of capacity is generally extreme overkill. There is also a security risk inherent in running these massive, unmonitored data sweeps. If the agent scans a malicious local file containing hidden instructions, it can trigger an indirect prompt injection. Indirect prompt injection is an attack where malicious code buried in a document tricks the AI into executing commands you never authorized. For 95% of users, these max tiers are financial traps. They only make sense for high-billing technical freelancers who lose billable hours when locked out of the standard Pro tier. This flowchart maps out the decision matrix for selecting your plan. It is a process of elimination based on your specific daily bottlenecks, starting with one question: do you need to synthesize documents or code locally? If the answer is no, and you only need basic text generation or homework help, follow the no branch. You should stay on the free tier and use the Sonnet 4.5 model, as standard text prompting does not require the Cowork agent. If you do need local synthesis, follow the yes branch. Developers building sporadically should use the pay-per-use API, but if you are actively coding or generating documents with AI for more than 3 hours daily, you follow this path to the $20 Pro tier. If you run an enterprise team of 5 or more people, do not purchase individual Pro accounts for your staff members. Instead, follow this final branch to the team plan. At $20 per user, it adds centralized billing, shared project knowledge bases, and isolated limits, meaning one power user running massive data sweeps won't drain the rest of the team's compute capacity. By ignoring the marketing and following this strict matrix, you ensure you only pay for the exact computational overhead your workflow demands. The $20 Pro tier represents the primary value point for the modern knowledge worker in 2026. To justify that cost, you must actively use Cowork to delegate your digital busywork. If you only use the software to answer questions in a chat window, you are leaving the majority of its value on the table. Start at the lowest viable tier for your workload, and only scale up when actual time constraints and system lockouts force you to upgrade. Mastering this fundamental shift allows professionals to scale their output, while others continue managing these tedious digital tasks manually.